Yo, it's Hublo back with another video. And I'm back with y'all again this week to give y'all not only another recap, but just an update on the 100K funded challenge that we've been trading in the chat. So, for those of you guys that are not in my chat, that are not in my Discord, definitely there's going to be a link in the description below. Tap into the Discord, subscribe this video, subscribe to my channel, and like this video. We're going to start off the week looking at Euro JPY. So I caught this trade in the morning. We were live on Discord trading at the time. And I definitely saw that this was going to be a great move for us to get into. I originally got in off this push here. I saw that price respected. It ended up activating me here. I did end up taking out that first position because I did feel like because of this wick, it was going to, possibly come down to the lower areas to then go up. So I did put in the chat that we had to make sure that we were going in this direction at that time and making sure that price was ready for us to interact with it, in this direction that we were aiming to go into. I didn't wasn't interested in being in drawdown all day and stuff like that for this move to happen. So I definitely got out in profits here. I let price digress, and I was pushing down my buy stop as much as I could. I had it up here and I just lowered it as price continued to go down. And then as you can see on that 5 minute structure, we ended up breaking here again, and then price eventually ended up putting us back in, which was definitely a great position to be in. You can kind of see throughout the day as it finally, got to that area. I definitely ended up closing in somewhere around here. I always like to close around the resistance, area. When I did mark up this whole area, I did account for everything. So not only did I account for where resistance and support was, I accounted for, my POI, my interest areas, where I would want to get into the market. And I kind of just went from there and saw exactly where I wanted to get in or where I had interest of possibly getting in. This was originally a sell POI, but once I saw price break above and retest this area, I definitely saw that it could possibly go to this resistance. Also, if we could have kept looking at it for for remainder of the week, price did end up coming down to the support as well, and it's respecting that support area as we speak. And then we ended up, after winning that trade, we ended up moving on to Euro AUD, which was another trade we definitely ended up getting into. Just was beautiful, beautiful execution. We did see that price in the beginning of the week when we took that other trade already bounced off this support, and it was respecting this area. So once I got to it on Tuesday, I was looking for price within my session to just give me a good lower time frame break and a confirmation, and that's all I really needed. So for the first confirmation, we got the bounce off the support, respecting support. We got the break up here, so we got a higher low, higher high, higher low. So once I saw that, we got a break of structure on a 5 minute here. I saw that we got a buy signal on the Hublot algo, which that's like 3 or 4 confirmations, guys. Like, it's not that hard, So once we get 3 or 4 confirmations, I'm definitely in this for a buy. We end up, I got out once I saw this wick about to happen right here on resistance. So I got out. Like I said, resistance is sometimes really strong. So you could literally just get a resistance push and it could just liquidate you out the whole position if you don't got your stops at break even and stuff like that. But my main target was this 50% area for about 60, 70 pips or so. So it did end up going to that area, which I was fine with getting out here. I didn't miss out on that much. Just like the last trade, didn't miss out on that much, getting out just a little early. Um, uh, Euro JPY, I don't want to just go over it that quick. We did end up catching 120 pips on this. 130 to TP, but we end up getting our 10 pips early, but I was fine with that. So I don't even want to overshadow that real quick. That's some real pippage. 100 pips could do a lot for you in your life, just in a week, And I was, just for full transparency, this funded account that I'm currently trading is at a 2% P&L drawdown. So if you're in a position and you go down and draw down 2%, it will take you out. And then for the daily, you only have 3% daily drawdown. So if you end up getting a position and you get down 1%, you've blown the whole account. Your account is done. So it's like you have to make sure that you're executing almost perfectly. And that's what I did this week. Another thing is that I'm trading with a 1 to 30 leverage, which is very minute. It's very small space to kind of work with, but it's not impossible. So you have to make sure that you execute perfectly when you're trading. We did end up moving on to GU. As well in the latter parts of the week. So after we made that move in the morning on Tuesday, I was looking for possibly more positions, and I was getting alerts that GU was getting ready to sell. I did see on the higher time frame from what we marked up. The support and resistance area. I did mark up also high impact news when it's coming in. So those are the three things that I do when I mark up higher time frame structure from top to bottom, and then I end up looking for the support and resistance of the market, and then I end up uh, implementing the high impact news areas to where I know exactly when high impact news is one happening, and two, when I back test, I see what type of influence did the high impact news have on the market. And with the support and resistance, I'm just really seeing if it coincides with my POI areas, which GU is just literally perfect. It literally coincided with my POI area down here for the support. And up here, I kept seeing where the resistance area was for the week. I kept seeing that price, was having just some trouble breaking this area entirely. So I definitely, saw that once we broke above here, that we were going to see a short term sell down. I did see that we had some liquidity to sweep here, which it definitely did. It swept liquidity and then it just automatically just went up. So it did take me out of this position right before my session started around 5 or 6 a.m. So that was definitely a beautiful trade. I did catch it a little bit out of my session, but I was, confident in it because it was out of my session, as you can see, but I got the signal, which was the 15-minute signal on the Hublot algo. And also it was just with structure and something that I was already looking at from within my session. It just so happened that it was out of my session once it activated me for the sell stop. So it was just a perfect move. It did end up taking, me out in profit as well as NZD. It was almost really the same. We were in this POI interest area. 15-minute signal was received a little bit out of our session. The red streaks that you see are New York session. So we did get high impact news here, which you can see high impact news right after it came to our TP, which I think I ended up getting out here because it was like, early in the morning when I got out around here. So it kind of like did a regression once it because it really, I had my TP here, but it didn't take me out there originally. So when I woke up, I was still floating and I ended up like getting out because I did see it was going to possibly be a pullback. And I saw that there was some high impact news coming up. We were right to do so because this high impact news definitely pushed up close to our stop loss. So we would have almost got stopped out for 20 pips here, but it still would have possibly kept us in because it just depends on how price reacted or how forcefully it came towards our stop loss and the spread at the time. Because sometimes spread could also, it doesn't hit your stop loss, but spread could also take you out because the spread in between the market could kind of take you out. So it just really depends. I did end up taking profit, around this area, around 6 a.m. or so, because I woke up pretty early that morning. But we did also get into EU as well, as NU and EU, they kind of correlate a bit. So I did end up seeing that we had a POI structure here on the 1 hour. So I had this POI here. I did see that, out of our session, we did start to see some weakness. We got a 15-minute signal here. I did end up putting a sell stop just so I was sure that price was going to be going in that direction. So once I saw this happen, boom, we got the cross here. I put my sell stop. And then we end up milking our way all the way down. It ended up taking us out. I did see that there was some liquidity here. So I was very cautious on that. And also, just like GU, we had this resistance area for the week that price was struggling to break above. So I definitely saw that we were possibly going to come to support level. I originally did have my TP down here, but for liquidity purposes, just seeing that market might just collect this liquidity and possibly reverse, I definitely just ended up having my pulling my TP up just to this area just to collect a little 40 pips. But we definitely could have caught this whole move if we would have just broke even here and stayed in it. It probably would have definitely took 1, 2, almost 3 days for us to hit our support levels, but at least we know our support and resistance levels are valid, and we know exactly where we're going to be executing those trades and where we're going to be shooting towards for price to go to. Um, just for the beginning of the week, I definitely saw that price was at this zone where it was in a wedge right here. So price could definitely, once I saw it shoot up, collect this liquidity, I definitely felt like it was going to come collect this liquidity. So there was just a lot of confirmations when it came to EU that allowed me to feel more confident in this position and just throw a little bit more of a lot, but make sure I still have a perfect entry to where I had little to no drawdown. That's so important when you're trading. So I did have this resistance area. I got the 1, 2 bounce. That was like a confirmation for me. A resistance area is failing to close above. We collected liquidity here, and we had some liquidity here and some liquidity here. That's three confirmations, and then we had the support in the 50% down here. That's like 5, 6 confirmations for me. So that was definitely a go for me. As far as just selling to specific areas in the market where I knew I could capitalize and just get in and out. Especially because this was a session that I was trading out of my session. I was okay with just taking what the market gave me because I might be asleep by the time when it actually the move is made. Um, and it's good to wake up in blues. I definitely love that feeling. So let's go to the chat real quick and kind of see our 100K challenge section that we got. And this is just a section that's going to be open just for right now that everybody can capitalize off the trades that we're putting in here. So everybody can capitalize off them right now. After we're done getting this first payout of this challenge, because I'm just doing this for my chat to kind of see what to do and how to move when you actually get a funded challenge. I'm not going to say the prop firm's name that I'm using currently. They're not paying me to do so. If you guys send me a check, I'll do a video promoting you guys, but I'm not promoting you guys otherwise. Thank you. But for that to be said, like I said, on this EU JPY, this is originally how it looked. It was just definitely a beautiful move. We did end up, getting that buy stop push up, originally getting into that buy up here. And like I said, we did end up, just trying to bring down our 50%. Everything that I said verbatim, you can see it in the chat. Feel free to definitely join our Discord. And you can see, women lie, men lie, results and numbers don't. We can look at this all day and see that we were definitely, in this position. These are trades that I was definitely in and I was confident in, and my community was able to take advantage of as well. And that's like one of the most important things for me when it comes to trading. And this was EA before it made the move up. Like I said, it definitely got that push into support. So I was definitely looking for it to come up to these 50% and resistance areas. And I definitely let my chat know, hey, we missed the sell last week, but we may retrace back up into that area. And I was definitely had EA on my eyes. We got the push on Euro JPY. It was just a perfect move, little to no drawdown at all when it came to that position. I did end up closing that position. We were, I think, in EA at that point, so we had P&L still floating at that time. So once we, got close to TP, we collected 120 pips or so on that first trade that we broadcast, and this was us on live when we were catching Euro AUD. So we got that buy signal on the 5 minute, like I explained, and then we just got that push up to the resistance and got out there. And it was just a beautiful move, a beautiful week. We went 5-0, guys, 5-0. What a beautiful week, just trading across different pairs and just to be 5-0. I'm grateful and I'm thankful to even be sharing this video with you guys right now because I know how this can possibly help someone have an aha moment when it comes to just their trading journey. And this was the live charts when we started trading EU. see that price was not breaking the structure here, so I was confident in putting my SL right there, and we definitely collected this liquidity that we had marked up, and I just had my TP down here originally, but like I said, I moved it higher just in case price just wicked and came down. So, like I said, full transparency in my chat when it comes to my trades. I would not give you guys trades that I'm not in. And, just it was just lovely. I love it. And we definitely, capitalize on that. TP smashed. We're on fire. 2-0 for the week. So this is when we were 2-0. We caught that position on live. So if you guys have not tapped into our live yet, definitely join our Discord and tap into our live. I always post that our live is that we're going live in the announcement part of our Discord. So definitely feel free to tap into that. This was around 8:34 p.m. is when we initially got into sales for GU. A little bit before that though, but we got into sales for GU, and it was just a beautiful move. We had little to no drawdown. On top of that, we had very low SL. So I think my SL for EU was like 10 pips. My SL for GU was 11. And it just was beautiful. It's just beautiful moves that we ended up catching. Like I said, this liquidity wicked into it, ended up getting out there. It took me out. In you here, I had my SL here, my TP, I'm sorry, here originally, but I ended up getting out, once that little pullback happened. Just really wasn't interested in, trading any longer. And I was up, for the morning. So I was fine with that. GU ended up getting around getting out around this purple signal here, in the morning, getting out. Knew that it was going to come and collect this liquidity. We could kind of see, had a bit of rejection. So I got out there, and we ended off the week with $1,900 in the account. Definitely hitting what I would like to say goals. 61% consistency, win ratio of 76%, loss rate of 24%. And we only had this one little trading error right here, which was $26, which that probably factored into our loss rate as well, including the losses that we took last week. So, like I said, in my chat, we're making steady progress. We're staying focused. We're disciplined. We're making sure we're following our trading plan. We're making sure we're following our correct lot sizes in the trading account, in the funded account, so that we can see and great payouts going forward. And that's what you want to do as a trader. Make sure that you're staying consistent. And when things are not working, uh, see what needs to be edited, see what needs to be, tweaked a bit. And if you don't know, have people like myself, have your mentors, have your people like yourself, like myself, coach you and show you how to edit your trading plan after your trading plan is done. And maybe you don't know how to make a trading plan and you need help with that. Definitely hop in my Discord, go into the discussion, ask me how to make a trading plan, and I'll be happy to help you. So definitely feel free to tap into our Discord, like and subscribe this video. I'm Hublot, and I'm out.